need to scream at the top of your lungs, the Mayweathers.
Shut your out, you'll do nothing. You nothing. Not one of you will do nothing. Get the out of here. Get the out of here.
In less than 12 months, Conor McGregor went from being the best trash talker and a badass fighter.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
Into looking like a guy with a bloated face who at times we can barely understand.
What about you? I say it's competitive. I just feel like 3 times a day.
It's almost impossible to distinguish these two fighters. Having this bloated look and a puffy face has his whole fan base worried about the legend's future. But what led to this potential career-ending downfall? Discover the shocking secrets and truths behind McGregor's drastic physical transformation. So stay tuned till the end because there might be a mind-blowing secret. Conor McGregor's rise to the top. There was once an Irish kid who would always get bullied but didn't let the world stop him. He became the most popular UFC fighter of all time. And coming from rags to riches, it was like a dream come true.
I have an unhealthy obsession with spending money, but I have a healthy obsession with making it, so it's all good.
Nobody was ready for Conor's rise to the top of the UFC that came after he destroyed, mentally and physically, the 7-year featherweight champion Jose Aldo in just 13 seconds.
Black trunks for the champion, Jose Aldo Jr. Conor relaxed and smiling. Oh! Just slapped him!
Immediately after, he was granted a title shot against Rafael dos Anjos for the lightweight belt that would make him the first ever to hold 2 UFC belts simultaneously in 2 different weight classes. But Dos Anjos pulled out 2 weeks before the fight and Nate Diaz stepped in as a late replacement. But then nobody was expecting what was about to happen. Conor took Nate lightly and paid the price. After a good first round, he gassed out in the second, and he was choked out by Nate giving him his first loss in the UFC.
You know, it stings real bad, but this is the fight business. I've been on the end of many defeats in my life and I've rose back, so I will not shy away from it. I will not make excuses for it. I will assess it and then come back.
Conor immediately asked for a rematch, which happened at UFC 202, where he reivindicated himself by defeating Nate in a 5-round war.
For the winner by majority decision, the notorious Conor McGregor!
His climax as fighter in the UFC was about to come. He went and defeated lightweight champion Eddie Alvarez in what most experts agree was his best performance in the UFC. He then became the first ever simultaneously double UFC champion. All that glory was before his infamous injury, which was the beginning of his downfall and controversy, which we'll talk about in just a bit. But before, let me briefly tell you about his boxing match against one of the best boxers ever, Floyd Mayweather. Even though Conor lost the match, he did show that he could box and gave a very competitive fight. But can you guess what was the best part of that fight for Conor? Yep, you got it right. That was the first time he made serious money, earning a staggering $130 million. The injury that changed everything. Now it's time to talk about the infamous injury that changed the life of the notorious Conor McGregor. Let's rewind to July 10th, 2021, the day that haunts Conor to this day. It was UFC 264, and as usual, he was the main event against Dustin Poirier. Having fought twice before with one victory by knockout for each of them, this was the fight to settle the score for these two. Nobody was expecting the gruesome injury that was coming. As the bout began, Conor looked in tip-top shape, landing some great shots at Dustin, giving some glimpses of the old prime Conor. But later in the match, as Conor was getting dominated by Dustin, something crazy happened. As he was landing on his back foot, it instantly snapped, causing the bout to be over immediately. But Conor, being Conor, didn't stop trash talking even with all the pain and suffering he was going through.
This is not over. If we have to take this outside with him, it's all outside. We don't give a
He was rushed to the hospital on a stretcher and went through a tedious 3-hour surgery where his feet now have literally rods and plates in them. Surgery went well, and Conor seemed to be doing better. Even there, he didn't lose his persona and was cool about the whole situation. However, something crazy happened, which made everyone suspicious of McGregor. You see, after his surgery, Conor left the USADA pool, and everyone noticed right away. Yep, the physical changes. Now, Conor could take any drug in the world to recover, and it seemed like he didn't shy away. Physical changes. A couple of months after his surgery and after leaving the USADA pool, we started seeing a different version of Conor. Everyone was expecting him to be weaker, frail, and maybe with poor mental health. But a video of Conor working out in the gym came, and he was looking like a muscular hunk.
Yeah!
Well, it didn't happen all at once. First, we saw McGregor getting back into shape, but very quickly, he started putting on mass while simultaneously losing body fat. His forearms got bigger, his hands were more intimidating than ever, and his overall frame started looking more like a bodybuilder. However, it was only after Conor shaved that we saw his facial structure totally change, which is usually a sign of taking some sort of performance-enhancing drugs. His skin got pinkish, his face was much more puffier, and his overall frame got so bulkier that people started saying things like, "This guy ate Conor." While most people said it was simply just weight gain, some things don't add up. Conor started losing hair. He had minimal body fat, but somehow was getting bigger. His face was pinkish, and his whole body looked like he was juiced up. It's so ridiculous to see that just 5 months ago, he looked like a lean lightweight, and now he looks like a gorilla.
Whoa, USADA's gonna take a visit to
That's
him
Conor?
very soon. Yeah.
Right now? Oh, dude, he looks like he's about to go WWF.
Yeah.
Most people who have that kind of leg injury simply leave the fight game, but Conor not only came back stronger, but also muscular. But the question arises, what kind of drugs did Conor take? Did Conor use steroids? To answer that question, we'll need to study similar prospects that went through an identical transformation as Conor. Do you remember Zac Efron? The actor looked amazing in the movie Baywatch, but it was later on when a video of him surfaced where he looked super similar to Conor.
You can see that the facial changes are still evident here, despite the fact that when he's out of shape, in shape, whatever, like during the greatest beer run.
The same big hands, puffy face, and just bloated body overall. While Zac says it's due to an accident when he fell down in his house. Moreover, in some photos, you can almost see his skin being in a pinkish tone, just like Conor McGregor. We've also seen other people like Joe Rogan and Kumail Nanjiani who had crazy transformations, and the results speak for themselves. So, what on earth is Conor taking? The short answer is HGH, human growth hormone. HGH makes the most sense because Conor was recovering quickly, and that, in return, gave him a puffy or bloated look. But it did more damage than that, and it's quite concerning. Conor's deteriorated speech. We all know that Conor is known for his outrageous personality, bold claims, and roasting the hell out of others. While he does that on Twitter, in real life it's a different story. Many interviews have surfaced where Conor can't even speak properly. It's like he's going through some sort of speech disability where the words don't come out of his mouth. In his interview with Ariel Helwani, for example, it's hard to even understand because Conor's having difficulty in putting together a simple line.
An hour, the 6 part, the movie and this, and then they're all like that. They're all like that. So I'm happy to just give people a glimpse of support needed. And
while this could be attributed to HGH as well, this is a clear sign of using cocaine, which everyone has always accused him of. So, how did the media react to all of this? Media and people's sentiment. Instantly, everyone started accusing Conor of using some sort of performance-enhancing drug, and Joe Rogan actually talked about it in his podcast that Conor must be pissing steroids. And this even sparked the beef between the two. Other YouTubers like True Geordie even did a full breakdown, which sparked the beef with Conor. So, even if Conor is having these problems, he never claims that he's taken anything while simultaneously dissing everyone. He's been beefing with KSI, Logan Paul, and basically anyone who he can get his hands on. It's good to see that the Mac still got heat, but what about the future? The future of Conor's career. While for the first few months, all Conor did was drinking, now he's potentially going to fight Michael Chandler.
Maybe if you showed up and break your nose, you little fool, you. Come on. Yeah, what?
Most UFC fighters are looking for a payday, but due to Chandler being his rival coach in the Ultimate Fighter show, it makes the most sense. But what's the future like for Conor? Can he return? Will the notorious McGregor do another run for the title, or is it too late? Conor is around 35 years old right now, and obviously out of his prime. However, with all the partying and drinking, one must ask, how will Conor bring back his glory? Well, I guess we'll have to wait for his first match. which is potentially happening in UFC 296. And Conor will also need to enter the USADA pool and give 2 clean tests before he can clear. But I leave a question to you guys. Do you think Conor will return and give a run to the title? Let us know in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more UFC and MMA related content, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon so you won't miss our future videos.